aren't you worried at some point that maybe Volvo's position would be diluted, or do you think you can always maintain a leadership position?
That's a fundamental core value of Volvo. We want to further expand our values, going beyond safety, but safety itself will have always a priority in respect of our engineering. We have a high competence of safety technology in our Safety Technology Center in Gothenburg, and we will remain the leaders in respect of safety. And not by coincidence, we are showing a crashed vehicle here at the Detroit Motor Show. And it's not a normal vehicle, it's an electric vehicle. We are the first manufacturer who shows a crashed, 40 miles per hour crashed electric vehicle. And you will see that this car has almost no deformance. And we can be very proud on the results. It's an absolutely safe car, as safe as any other Volvo car.
You know, you just made a great point, because I've not seen any crash video of any electric cars at all.
Come tomorrow to our press conference. There you will see
I will be there. I promise you, I will be there. Because that's been one of the questions, especially when you crash lithium-ion batteries. Is it safe?
Yeah, exactly. And we answered this question, and for Volvo we can say we build cars as safe as any other Volvo cars as well. That's on our spec book, and we will make no compromises with our electrification towards comfort, towards luxury, fun to drive, but also towards safety.
Right now, Volvo's lineup, I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, ranges, at least in the US market, from the C30 up to the S60. Do you see going down market more or up market more?
For us, not so important to go down or to go up. For me, it is important to focus on core products and do these products really beautiful in an emotional way, so that people and customers really desire these new Volvo cars.
And of course, you've got Peter Horbury designing your cars, no?
That is true, yeah.
And he's the one who really set Volvo on this design form language that it's been on for at least a decade.
That is absolutely true. And we continue with that. Design of our new vehicles are more important than ever. We will introduce later this century a new platform which offers us a lot of design opportunities as well, to make cars really looking sporty, beautiful, and as customers expect from a beautiful Volvo. We want to add, next to the rational values like safety, also the emotional values of the Volvo brand.
There's been discussion in the press that you're arguing with your Chinese management as to whether to do an S-Class competitor, 7 Series competitor. Talk a little bit about that. What is your thinking in that regard?
It's a very fruitful discussion which we have. I'm very thankful that we have a very open discussion within the entire board about where's the future products, how do they look like, in which segments we should be, what should be the sizes of these vehicles, and so on and so on. I appreciate this. This is exactly the discussion which we need. We have to question everything. Obviously, we need to make things different. We struggled around the 400,000 vehicle mark since a long time. We need to break through. And we will break through already this year. And for growth, we need this kind of fruitful discussion which we have right now. I share all the views the board and Chairman Lee has actually. We must make cars made for the markets and made for the customers in the markets where we want to grow, and these markets are China, the United States and Europe.
And as I'm listening to you, it seems like you really want to focus on really concentrating on what you've got right now, really making it work before deciding to do something different.
Exactly, yeah. Focus on our core competence and making this car really beautiful as an entire composition, not only with the rational values like safety, but also in respect of environmentally friendly vehicles. We are investing into electrifications, but especially also in modern, very Scandinavian design. That's where we want to have the brand in the future.
With the electrification, of course, it takes an enormous investment for any automaker to get into this new technology. Somebody like a Toyota can spread that over 6 million units, or a Volkswagen. To spread it over 300,000-400,000 has got to be awfully tough to do. How can Volvo, at least right now, as a smaller company, compete with this new technology?
We have to look for smart solutions. We are very carefully investing. I'm amazed with how many little money we are actually investing into our electrification strategy. We have also some strategic partners where we count on, and we actually cannot beat our competitors in respect of size. We only can beat them in respect of speed. And with a new setup, with a new owner, and with the all-new Volvo, we will be much faster and quicker in the market, and we will actually have a different pace than in the past.
I would say speed and also brand positioning and brand image. How are you going to work on the brand image of Volvo, and not just in the US market, but globally as well?
In the first month of my assignment, we have undertaken a kind of re-evaluation of our brand positioning. We are almost finished, and I think we have found the key of the brand Volvo. And I cannot tell you right now all the details. Please stay a little bit tuned, but it will be very much focused on vehicles designed around people. So to put our customers and the people into the center of what we are doing day by day.
I think you're onto something there of really doing a Scandinavian approach, because there's only one other car company in the world that can do that, another Swedish company.
That is true.
But so you really have an opportunity to do something very Scandinavian and have that exhibited in the design of the car.
Yeah, we should relay more of our origin, where we come from. These are extremely good values. We have to expand this. We have to bring the emotions to the brand as well. But by just copying Japanese or German premium manufacturers, that's not the recipe for Volvo. We will find our own way.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a tagline.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, you've got the XC40 too. Do you see expanding your SUV line?
I think that's an opportunity. We are very strong. We see a high demand, especially in the United States, for the XC60. Actually, we increased the capacity by the middle of this year at our Ghent plant in Belgium. And the XC90 is an icon product where we have set standard in that segment, not only here in the United States, but globally. And we are thinking also about smaller and compact SUVs as well. That's one of the opportunities where we see growth potential.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, let's see, I think we might have some questions from any of our viewers here. We do, but nothing particular to Volvo. So,
okay.
Am I missing anything? What else should we be talking about with Volvo and the brand? We've got it covered.
Thank you.
Okay, Stefan Jacoby, thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Terrific.
Thanks.
The interior has comfortable seating for 5. It was especially designed for young families. For the convenience, the Prius V has a standard backup camera, a low, wide cargo hatch to access that 34 cubic feet, which is better than most compact SUVs. And a first for a Toyota vehicle, the Prius V will be available with a lightweight resin moonroof with retractable shades. Now, Prius V will also be the first vehicle in Toyota's lineup to introduce our new exclusive end-tuned multimedia system that debuted just last week at the Consumer Electronics Show. Now, frankly, we were blown away by your reception and coverage of the N2 and all the awards it received, including CNET's Best in Show. N2 delivers more features in a safe, consumer-friendly way than anything else in the market. Now, there are 4 industry-leading highlights that I think our consumers are really going to like. It offers more popular apps. It has the most advanced voice recognition. It's easy to upgrade, and it's compatible with more phones than any other system. So please stop by our booth and check out and have a little fun with the new N2 system. Now, along with all that great multimedia technology, the Prius V has the standard safety features, including 7 airbags, as well as the Star Safety System. The Prius V will be a family-oriented hybrid and offers a great combination of versatility, safety, low emissions, as well as fuel efficiency. Look for this vehicle to arrive at our dealerships later this summer. And finally, behind every great car, there's a great engineer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Prius V Chief Engineer, Mr. Jacoby. Thank you for coming. Now, while many hybrid customers ask for more room and versatility, there are others that ask us for something exactly the opposite. A smaller, more affordable, even with better gas mileage than the current Prius. So our designers and our product planners have provided a vision of what that may look like. and gentlemen, please take a look at the Prius C concept.
One second, we'll get going in a minute. And we're back, live from the floor of the 2011 North American International Auto Show in Detroit. And joining me right now, Tom Dahl, Executive Vice President, Chief Operating Officer, Chief Financial Officer of Subaru of America. Boy, cook, bottle washer, everything. You're very busy these days.
Seems like anything with the C I have. But good to be with you, John.
Tom, it's great to have you here. I'm so pleased because I keep telling everybody I am so impressed by Subaru. Somebody forgot to tell Subaru that there was a global recession for the last 2 years. You guys didn't miss a beat.
No,
you only grew sales.
Actually, we've grown the last 3 years. In 2008, when the financial situation happened, we grew by 0.3%. Last year, we grew by 15%. And in 2009, or 2 years ago, we grew by 15%. And last year, we grew by 22%. So it's been a very exciting time for Subaru. And as you can tell, our products fit that niche in the marketplace. From people that are coming down from larger sport utility vehicles, they move into an Outback or they move into a Forester with great fuel economy, cargo capacity, and all the utility with all-wheel drive. So it's a combination that really can't be beat.
But listen to what you're saying. I mean, 22% growth on top of 2 prior years of growth. I mean, there's other companies, that are bragging about their percentage increase, but coming off a very low base. You're not doing that. You're on a high base and growing from there.
Well, we like to think, John, we're making up for lost time, because really during the period from 2000 through 2007, when the market was growing dramatically, 16, 17 million units a year, we hardly grew. So we're really kind of making up for lost time.
Well, you've absolutely done it. And what are total sales? Where'd you end up last year?
We ended up at 263,820 sales.
All-time smash record,
right? Smash record.
Because historically, Subaru always did just barely 200,000, maybe not even.
You're right, John. We were in that 180 to 190,000 unit range. And we had a very difficult time. It was our dream, really, to get to 200,000. And then last year, of course, we broke through that at 216,000. Now this year, we broke through with almost 264,000 cars. So we're very excited.
So I got to believe 300,000 has got to be a benchmark for the company to shoot for.
That's what we call our next DEFCON, yes. But we don't put numbers out there. We want to set a record, as long as it's one more unit than what we sold last year.
Yeah. Keep making progress. But this kind of success must have opened up Subaru's eyes to say, hey, wait a minute, we can do a whole lot more here.
Well, I think one of the things that's happened over the last couple of years, and you know our product line as well as anybody, our cars got to be a little bit larger, styled a little bit better, and when you have that great combination of all-wheel drive that we've got with excellent fuel economy, now that captures an additional group of people. We always appeal to people with outdoor lifestyles and that type of thing, but now with the more contemporary styling and the larger styling, we're able to bring more people and attract more people to the brand, and that's what's really exciting for us. We're conquesting like we've never conquested before.
Where were you getting your conquests from?
Mostly people that are coming down market from larger sport utility vehicles, but they still want the utility that the sport utility vehicle provides, but they just want to get better fuel economy and better overall environmental impact, which
and
our
they
cars
find
provide.
that in an Outback or a Forester or something like that.
Right, and then of course our Legacy gets over 30 miles per gallon with all-wheel drive, so you can't beat it.
Yeah, no kidding. But have you thought about, wait a minute, do we need a bigger car, maybe go more upscale? What are some of the thoughts as where you might go product-wise?
That's a good question, because we are talking about that and which way we can potentially take this thing. We really haven't decided yet whether or not we want to take it up into that next level in terms of size, because we've got a nice situation going the way that it is now. So we want to make sure that whatever we do is going to be sustainable, that it's going to be an investment that we can make and get a good return on that investment. We don't want to do anything that's going to, we want to go to a larger size vehicle, but then we're not going to be able to get the volume that we need to make the numbers work.
Globally, how's Subaru doing? I'm only familiar really with how it's performing in the U.S. market. What about the rest of the world?
Fantastic.
Same story all over again?
Same story. Subaru's setting records in China, Australia, Canada. Maybe not doing as well in the Japanese market.
Well, but nobody is.
But really, Fuji this year is going to set an all-time record in terms of their unit volume. And then also you probably saw where they're going to be setting a record in terms of their overall profitability, which is a good thing.
That's a great thing, especially coming from the mouth of a CFO, Chief Financial Officer. You love that part of it too.
Well, I like the cash flow even better. So forget the numbers on the income statement. It's the cash flow that matters.
Right. So what's next? Where do you take Subaru from here in the American market?
Well, next year, or actually this year, we have a new launch coming with our new Impreza model. That's going to be coming out in August of this year. So that's our next big product launch that we want to get out into the market. And we think with the Impreza, we've got another opportunity where we can continue to grow our market. We think even the Outback segment that we compete in, if you think about the vehicles that it competes against, same thing with the Forester segment. You know, we're still at the bottom of that segment, so we still got a long way to go in terms, as good as it is, we still have a long way to go in terms of what we think we can get out of those sales. There's no reason, John, why we can't be selling 100,000 Outbacks a year and 100,000 Foresters a year. The products are that good.
What's it going to take to do that?
Not much more than what we're doing now. I think it's just continuing the trend and building on the momentum that we have.
And what is that? On the retail side and advertising marketing is going to do it?
I think it's, yeah, everything that we've currently got going. It's the, well, you know, you've seen our advertising. It's award-winning advertising. The dealer commitment and the dealer involvement is there. So we're very excited about the potential that we've got for the brand. We're getting traffic that we've never seen before. It's very, very exciting for us.
Now, 3 years ago when I talked to you, I said, okay, how'd you guys crack the code? What was it? And you said it was all in the pricing. That rather than put up some MSRP and then throw a bunch of incentive money on it, you pretty much price the cars to the transaction price, actual transaction. What's kept the momentum going?
Well, I think when you look at the pricing that we've been able and the price points that we hit in the market, that we've been able to do this without really going incentives. In fact, if you check Auto Data Corp, we're the lowest incentives in the industry. So what we try to do is to create a discipline within our pricing to say that we don't need to have incentives. Yeah, we're going to have a low interest rate program in the market. I'm not saying we're not going to have that, and we need to have competitive leasing programs in the market. But we don't need to go to the big cashback. We shouldn't have to do that. The cars are priced the way they are. And they hold their value well. I mean, look at Automotive Lease Guide. We're #1 in residual value.
Is that right? I had no idea.
Blue Book. We're #1 in resale value in the entire industry. And you combine that with the crash test safety, with the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. John, we got it all.
Well, you know, one of the things I've heard why you have such good resale or residual values is people don't sell their Subarus.
They
just hand them down in the family,
right.
So no one's selling them used, so the prices go up.
People, that's the thing about Subaru customers. Once they get into the car, they love it, the way it handles, the way it drives, and therefore they want to keep it within their family. And as you said, it goes down from the husband to the wife to the daughter to the son, and it just stays in the family.
To the dog.
One of the things that is a challenge for us is our customers tend to hold the cars for so long. I mean, I think we're one of the longest in the industry. At 7.2 years is the average length of time that a customer holds one of our cars. We like to turn that owner base over a little bit more so we get more sales.
Right. Hey, we've got some questions from our chat room here. Mark wants to know, why did Subaru join forces with Toyota?
When, as you know, we had a partnership with General Motors a number of years ago, and with the economies of scale and the investment costs that are required for this industry, it just made sense for Subaru to try to partner up with Toyota and a larger organization.
Because as you get into hybrids and electrics or whatever it happens to be, you can spread the cost of that development over more cars.
That's exactly right.
So we're going to see a Subaru hybrid anytime soon?
Well, Mr. Mori has announced by 2013 that a hybrid will be coming. We can't tell you specifically what car it's going to go into at this point because there's a number of options that we have.
Based on technology from Toyota?
Well, based on jointly developed technology or technology that Fuji's developed on their own.
Oh, very interesting. Eduardo wants to know, will there be a Subaru version of the FT86, which, as you know, is one of Toyota's cars?
Well, we don't comment on future product.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It wouldn't surprise you if that happened, would it?
It wouldn't surprise me if that happened, no.
Okay, Dogmai wants to know, any thoughts on lengthening the Impreza hatch into more of a true wagon?
That's a very interesting question, and it's almost like this caller is part of our product planning discussions that we're having.
Good question, Dogmai. Good question.
That's a very good question. But yeah,
I'll take that as a yes.
There is some consideration to do that, although we haven't made any final decisions on whether or not we're going to do that. Yeah. But that's a very good point.
Mike wants to know, any plans to replace the 4-speed automatic transmissions?
Well, there's always a plan for that,
Yeah.
but so far it really hasn't hurt us. You know, because with the fuel economy that the vehicles currently, I know the buff books and so forth, they're into the 6-speed and the 5-speed automatic.
Well, I hear tomorrow
transmissions.
Chrysler's going to announce 9 speeds.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. 9 speeds, 8 speeds. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, 8-speed rear drive, 9-speed front drive. It's crazy.
It is.
So what else? What am I missing here? What do you want to talk about? What you're doing at Subaru?
Well, you know, we're just we're very fortunate, John, that we've been able to. Part of my job, honestly, is sometimes I feel like I'm more of a psychologist than anything, because once it's all about creating that mindset and that positive feeling, and you can tell by the show this year, it's much more positive here than it has been the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, the tax cuts that happened at the end of the year last year have gotten the country off to a pretty good start. People now know that their taxes aren't going to go up. They know that they're going to be able to keep more of the money in their pocket, and that's created a very positive feeling among the customers. December was a great month for the industry, and we're obviously hoping that that carries over. And if some of the pundits are right, and I think they are, I mean, I think this year could be 1 million to maybe 1.2 million units more than we had in 2010, so that put us at 12.5, 12.7. And if we can continue to keep our share of that, I think we're going to be okay.
You know, a very interesting comment you made. No one else has made that, and that I've heard, of tying the tax cuts into a big boost in December sales.
I think that's helped with the psychology of people, and I think that you know, it all goes by how people feel and what their sentiment is and how confident they are, and this has helped to create a little bit more confidence that people are. It settled things down, at least for the next 2 years anyway. We'll see what happens in 2 more years.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but I think the industry is actually going to shock everybody in how it comes roaring back. You know, roaring over several year period, mind you. But, you know, unless there's some unforeseen disaster out there, I think people are going to be surprised at how strong the industry responds.
And I think credit is getting I mean, I see it through our credit company that the credit is becoming more and more available. More people are being able to get bought that maybe a year ago wouldn't have been able to get bought. So it is getting better.
That's good to hear. Tom Dahl, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thanks, John. Great to be with you.
I keep telling everybody in the business, Subaru is the hottest car company going. Everyone's talking about Hyundai, and God bless them. They're off to the races. They're doing a great job.
They're doing a great job.
But I think people have missed the story, the business story, of how well Subaru has done.
It's been exciting. I'm glad I've been a part of it. It's been a lot of fun.
Tom, thanks so much for stopping by.
You.
Really good seeing you again.
Great to see you.
Sure
too.
thing. Take care now.
Are we out?
And
with the average American spending an increasing number of hours behind the wheel each year, it's no wonder that interior comfort is now the #2 factor in choosing a vehicle, according to the 2010 J.D. Power Initial Quality Study. At IAC, we recognize the importance of making the vehicle interior a safer, more comfortable, and convenient place for drivers and passengers. We draw upon our rich heritage in automotive interiors to create smart solutions that help make vehicles lighter, safer, quieter, more environmentally friendly, and dramatically more pleasing to the senses. IAC Vehicle Interiors. Our heritage is your advantage.
Introducing Bridgestone's 3rd generation run flat tires with groundbreaking new Bridgestone technology. Current run flat tires offer peace of mind for consumers, but the added mass and stiffer sidewalls can compromise ride comfort and fuel efficiency. The new 3rd generation Bridgestone run flat tires reduce heat and improve performance and ride comfort. Improved ride comfort, lower rolling resistance, and improved wear with the peace of mind and comfort you need.
The 2011 Hyundai Sonata has been named one of Car and Driver's 2011 10 Best Cars. Motor Trend declared, "What's not to love?" And Automobile Magazine added it to their annual All-Stars list. But one of our favorite accolades is this. The 2011 Sonata. What else is there to say?
Out. Maybe it's interfering, no?
We're back live from the floor of the Detroit Auto Show, and
you want to take
joining
it?
me
Maybe it's
right
not good
now
for them.
is the president and CEO of the Chrysler Brand, Olivier Francois. And Olivier,
great to meet you.
Great to have you here. Really good to
you.
hear. Boy, you must feel like a kid in a candy shop. You've got all these great new products coming out at Chrysler, just as
I do.
You've only been at the brand, what, a year now?
Yeah, something like a year and a half. And it's impressive, you know. 1 year ago, we were here at the auto show.
With nothing.
With absolutely nothing. Actually, I had 3 cars. I had the Sebring, which was no longer selling a lot. I had the 300, which was at the end of its life cycle. And actually, I had 1 car, which was still selling, which was the Town & Country. And 1 year later, I've still
have almost all new everything.
3 cars, but all new.
Right.
So during this year, we have been seeding for what's coming next. And actually, we did that nicely, I think. The Town & Country has been, and I'm really proud of this claim, has been the most selling minivan in the American industry last year, so 2010.
And this is without the new one.
And this is without the new one. So this is good.
It's very good because you had all new Honda Odyssey come out.
Absolutely.
Newish, certainly Toyota Sienna.
We sold something more than the Honda Odyssey, and so that's good. And now we have the new one, and we have a new 200 and a new 300. So those 3 cars are clearly linked by a common bloodline, by a common brand, but they have 3 very different missions. Town & Country is about families. It's about protecting for a segment which we think belongs to us, not only because we have been the leader last year, but because Chrysler invented it 27 years ago. America invented it, Detroit invented it. So I think this is it's a stimulation to go forward, to move forward and to fight for it. And so coming now with a new one is a bit of an excitement, because the new one brings practically 2 things. More road handling, better road handling, and more safety. I'm not speaking about the style, because style has been outstanding. It's even better now, but substance. We fixed everything. You know, we need to also to reconquest the European market with this car. So we changed totally the handling. Now it handles like any good European car. It's no longer a minivan. You can enjoy it as an adult driving it. And that's what road handling is about. Great engine, by the way. We installed the new V6 Pentastar.
3.6 liter.
3.6 liter, 283 horsepower, which on a minivan is good. It's best in class with a 6-speed transmission. So I think the good thing about a minivan, we think about the adult who drive it and can enjoy it. The interiors have been conceived more in a SUV-ish kind of mood. It's very beautiful, very quality, very premium, but also less minivan and more sporty. On the other hand, when it's about minivan, it's about families, it's about kids. And I've got 3, so I know about that. And kids, for sure. Entertainment is important. We have the best, I think, entertainment system in the car, but more importantly, it's about safety. So the strategy with this new minivan is to deliver, to absolutely, to over-deliver, let me say, when it comes to safety and technology features. We have 42 safety and technology features that come standard on each car, meaning things that others have, things that others have optional, but it is standard on our car, things that others do not even have as an optional. Everything is included. Safety is not an option. So that's about Town & Country. We have a very loyal customer base. We need to expand it, and we need to, I want this segment to be back to, I was about to say to Detroit. That's, Detroit invented it, so we want it back. 200 is the most challenging car. It's going to be a great challenge. You see me very excited.
Why a challenge?
You see me very excited about that because it's about the biggest segment of the American industry. It's a D segment. The D segment is one of the mid-size sedan. I call it the big D, you know, as a D, as a Detroit English D. And it's 1.8 million car a year. So the potential is absolutely huge. In this case, we start from nothing. We have to be very humble. We can't make a mere styling exercise. The car looks, I think, pretty good, but it's not about style. We need to over-deliver in quality again, substance, engine, silence, comfort, roominess. It has to be the best car or nothing. Otherwise, we won't reconquest this this segment. This segment today is very much owned by the imports, and I want to export car from Detroit in America. So that's the mission of the 200. I think it is a car that looks nice, but needs to be driven. I need the potential customer to get in it, get to the dealer, realize that the value proposition is absolutely unbelievable. This car delivers absolutely the best of the American industry in the D segment for $19,995, so which is a very good value proposition. And they need to drive the car and to realize that it is no longer the Sebring. That's clear. Forget about the Sebring. This is a 200. This exploit, as we say in French, has been done in 12 months. Clearly, we started from the Sebring platform, but that's all is left.
Everything else has changed.
Everything else is changed. You have a 4-cylinder. You have the same great V6 Pentastar 3.6 liter, and that's a very challenging segment. But we go there with a good car and with a great value proposition. Then the 300. So clearly, today in Detroit, I mean the word of mouth, the talk of the town has been the 300. 300 is a brand new car. So for us, it's also a challenge somehow because we spent a lot of money building this new car. It's not a refresh. It's not a facelift.
It's a redesign.
It's a redesign from A to Z. So 2 words about the 300, if I may. The 300 is first a breakthrough on 2 areas: quality and function. And I'll speak about design later. Quality is non-negotiable on 300. We are speaking about the luxury segment, and we are speaking about the Chrysler, and we're speaking about the comeback of Chrysler. We're speaking about the credibility of Chrysler in the luxury segment. So we cannot fail. So we took the best car in the industry, not only American, also Japanese, and the car is set to beat them. We want the best car, the best luxury car in the industry, quality-wise, to be an American car. Quality is materials. It's about touching it. Touch the dashboard, it's amazing. All soft touch surfaces, all premium grain leather, wood that has been hand sanded. It's really going into the detail. Then it's about fit and finish. It's no longer about touch, it's about look at it. So when you look at the way all those parts come together, it's a masterpiece. And then it's about reliability. So reliability, we set the car again to be the benchmark. I'm very excited and looking forward to see its achievement by the third party and the third party endorsement. Sorry, But still very confident. You will see it will have amazing results. That's about quality. So I want this car to be a benchmark setter in terms of quality. Then I spoke about function. About function, we took 3 areas, and I want this car to deliver the best in those 3 areas. One is silence. When it's about luxury cars, I want this car to just be the most silent car when you drive it. Okay, that was the intention. Then I drove mine. It's amazing. I had a passenger aboard and he asked, is it an electric car? It's not. It's not. It delivers an incredible MPG. It is set to be very close to 30 MPG when it will, in a few months from now, receive an additional 8-speed transmission, but it's not electric. It's supposed to be the best-in-class performance, the best-in-class MPG, but it's not electric, but it sounds like an electric. You don't hear anything inside. Then the second area where we have been working hard is function-wise, is innovation and technology. You have adaptive cruise control, which is something we know, but maybe not on a car in a range of $28,000 to $40,000. It keeps always the distance to the next car. Safety technologies again, rear cross path detection, blind spot monitoring, collision warning system. So it's full of a great, I call it an iPad. That's exaggerated, but you have a touchscreen navigation system that controls all the car, by the way, not only the navigation, air conditioning, weather forecasts, movie listing in the cinema, the price of the petrol, gasoline, everything is handled by this magic huge 8.4 inches screen, and so on. So that's the second territory. And the third territory is clearly the engine. I already spoke about that. Right. But okay, right. Fun to drive, but a responsible fun to drive. So fuel efficient fun to drive. So those are the 3 areas where we have set the 300 to become a benchmark, a part of quality and function when it comes to engine, safety, and silence. So we are very excited. You see me a little bit excited?
Yeah, yeah. I can tell why. You've got the right product now. In fact, what impressed me about the 300 is I saw a prototype of it a couple of years ago, but the one that you have on the floor, they kept changing it. In fact, it almost has little tail fins on the back of it.
Yes, which are meant to remind the old 1955, the original 300. So there are, yes, some winks, to the old version. And no, it's a car that clearly we have not been speaking about the style. Let me tell you about the style. So while it is a pure breakthrough in quality and a pure breakthrough in function, technology, safety, and so on, we didn't want this car to be a breakthrough in style, because the 300 is a 300.
Already looks good.
It looks good, and more importantly, because we are here to sell cars. I have on 300 what I do not have on 200, which is a huge customer base. The 300 customers are very loyal. They love their car. They love the way their car look, and they want to recognize that this 300, their new 300, is still a 300, but it's an improved 300. It brings driving pleasure to another level, but it brings quality to another level, and so on. But it is still a 300. So it is an evolution of the style, clearly projected in the future. You have those great headlamps. I love that, the LED with a C-shaped LED that at night time is something absolutely impressive, because you see those 2 nasty C's that comes in your door mirror, and so it gets a lot of refinements. Clearly, it's style-wise is much more refined than the existing one. it still protects for all the customization that the old one had. So you will have a lot of choice when it comes to grills, to customize your interiors, colors, leather, stitching, piping, wheels. So this is very important on a 300. But I think it will expand its reach beyond what the old generation has been able to do.
We're down to the very end here, but we've got some questions from our viewers. Charger 159 wants to know, will future Chrysler product carry numbers rather than letter names? Would you stick with 200, 300? Yes. Is that going to be going forward?
The answer is yes.
Okay. Will Chrysler offer the Lancia Delta in the American market? Because as you know, last year you had a Delta here with a Chrysler badge on it.
I know that.
And you run the Lancia brand too,
and
no?
I run the Lancia brand in Italy. And no, actually, it was just to show. It was an experiment. We wanted to show to prove, if I may, sorry, that a Lancia and a Chrysler can come together nicely. I explain. We have a unique opportunity for Lancia in Europe now, thanks to the partnership with Chrysler, which is to complete the range. Lancia makes phenomenal cars, but they are all under 4.5 meters. I mean, it's small or compact, and hatches. And there is still room in Europe. It's not a huge market, but there's still room to bigger cars like the 200, like the 300, and for MPVs like the Town and Country, which as a Chrysler is called Voyager in Europe. Then both ranges put together fit perfectly in a Lancia showroom. So opportunity for Lancia, opportunity for Detroit as well, and for Chrysler as well, because we will produce more Chryslers to be exported in Europe and rebadged as Lancias. Lancia in Europe is typically the design brand in Europe. It's driven by design. Chrysler, as we all know here, is driven by design. So it's very easy to make a nice Lancia out of Chrysler. Then never say never. We can also make the opposite. And by the way, the Lancia Delta Chrysler badged USO will be sold, not in the US, but will be sold as a Chrysler in a lot of countries where Chrysler sells car and Lancia doesn't. In the UK, Chrysler is important and Lancia is not imported. In Japan, same thing. In Australia, in South Africa. So you are going to find Lancias badged as Chryslers wherever, out of America, out of the United States, but wherever you have a market for smaller cars and a need for the Chrysler dealers to complete their range. So you see, it's very exciting to play on this complementarity.
They're giving me the sign to wrap up. One quick one. Jay Cujo wants to know, is a true 9-speed transmission coming?
No, we are speaking about the 8-speed, but it will come soon. And that's a good news.
Yeah.
And that's already huge, because I think there is no other 8-speed today in the American industry.
I think that's right. Very good.
And that's good.
It is. Olivier Francois, thanks so much for coming in and
talking
all about
Chrysler. It's been great chatting with you.
Yeah, oh no,
it's
been excellent. Yeah, we'll have to do this again.
Okay. Whenever you want.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Welcome back live from the floor of the Detroit Auto Show, and joining me right now is the co-chair of the Detroit Auto Show, Baron Mead. Baron, great to have you here.
It's great to be here, John.
You must be so geeked because, boy, the energy in this show is really up, and that's what everyone's talking about, not just the vehicles on the floor, but the whole attitude at the show.
Well, the attitude of the show has been great. I mean, after the last couple of years, we've really come back strong, and it's the comeback story, and we've got over close to 5,500 press that see the value of this show.
And how much more is that than a year ago?
That's almost up 1,000.
That's unreal.
Yeah,
1,000 more press people here.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stories here. I mean, we're going to have close to 40 worldwides today. I mean, it's going to be a fantastic show.
And of course, the automakers are doing better these days, so they can arrange to bring in media, and I'm sure that helps pay off as well.
Yes, yeah, they're bringing in a lot of foreign media, and I mean, this is a great place to get your brand story across. You've got new product now, and you've got new displays. Almost over 70% of them are entirely new.
And talk a little bit about the venue itself, because this exhibit hall, Cobo Hall, has gone through a lot, and instead of the old management that was running it, there's now a new regional authority. As an organizer of the show, do you see a difference in this place?
There's a tremendous difference. Tom Connors and the authority and SMG have taken over the hall, and they have made great changes. Center plate, so the OEMs are going to be happier. Everybody that experiences Cobo Center is going to have a much better
But the idea is to expand this place, no?
Yes, yeah, right behind you, we're going to knock down that wall and get 25,000 extra square feet. So, and the steel's already ordered. So this is going to happen. Yeah, the funding's in place, and we're going to get back to managing good problems, which is how much space, how many people we can fit into this hall.
What else should we be talking about? What do you want to really put a spotlight on with this year's show?
Well, again, NAIAS is an annual show. Now that the North American industry has flipped around, it's making money. Everybody's making money this year. Dealers, suppliers, manufacturers. So, again, this is just going to build the momentum for next year's show. Go on our website, naias.com, and if you can get the word out, it's a must-see show.
And of course, you've got several other venues being held here. One that I'm a part of, the North American Car and Truck of the Year.
Yes.
You've got, last night you had this thing called the Gallery, which some of our viewers will see because we're preparing a show all on just the Gallery, where you bring in the Ferraris, the Maseratis, the Lamborghinis, the Aston Martins and everything for a special off-site meeting with actual customers, not just media or people strolling through.
Right. We just, with the ultra-luxury customer, we just take a little bit more care in trying to get the cars in front of them and give the luxury brands a cost-effective way to do that. So we do that over at MGM Ballroom. So we had 27 vehicles there last night. Which I find fascinating because I'm not aware of any other auto show in the world that does something like that. No, again, we by listening to the customers, and we noticed that it's a tough value story for a luxury brand to come into into the main show floor and put a lot of money into a display for very few prospects. So it was a great way to be to listen to them and give them value. And while I'm a journalist who's on the North American Car and Truck of the Year jury, you've also got a very prestigious lineup of car designers from all around the world as part of Eyes on Design. Yes. Coming here to judge what they think is the best concept car and what they think is the best production car. Yeah, I mean, it's really a assembly of industry experts that go around, and there's probably no better award if you're a designer than having Eyes on Design awards, because those are the peers, your peer group that is judging. And I know in the design community, that award's starting to become very prestigious to be able to say, oh yeah, I got the Eyes on Design award. Yeah, Dr. Hesberg is really, this almost 25 years that he's been doing this, and it's really taken traction. So what else do you do? How do you take it to the next level? Again, it's just listening to and the OEMs. I mean, you're seeing the display build that we have, at the show. The lights from the Audi display alone take 3 weeks, which is more than the move-in for. You mean just to set up the lights? Just to set up the lights for the Audi. 3 weeks. Yeah, so that's more than the move-in at LA or New York. So those are the things we can do here at NAIAS that no other show in North America can do. So that's why the press show up. That's why the manufacturer can get their new brand story and their new models out to the North American journalists. Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it.
And talk a little bit about more of Kobo here. You said you're going to knock out this wall behind me, move it back, get more space. What other kinds of changes might people see over the next few years?
Well, you're going to see the concessions, the touch points. Tom Connors and his group are committed to making sure that the experience here is world class, and that's something that we haven't really had here in recent years. So it's really a huge step forward. And when we went around to the world shows, the complaints we would get were mostly Kobo related.
Yeah.
So now that we fixed that, now again we're back to good problems of managing space, and that's what we like to do.
I'm sure you've had a chance to walk the floor some. Anything that sticks out in your mind that you like with the introduction?
Again, I'm a little bit partial having Porsche back. It's just like when somebody takes something away and then gives it back to you. You appreciate it more. And that new 918 RSR is just it's
awesome.
It's an awesome vehicle.
And awesome technology too.
Yeah.
I'm just intrigued that they're using a flywheel to generate electricity instead of trying to store it in batteries.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And again, the strong presence of the German manufacturers really is the cornerstone of our show. We've got the Detroit 3, Ford is incredible, the GM brands with their new display are really getting the story across, and then here in Toyota, Lexus Scion's a lot bigger this year. So, with the VDA has really made our show tremendous.
That's great. Hey, we've got a question in from the chat room here. Scott in Cleveland. Hello, Scotty. What's happening with the downstairs area this year?
Okay, down in Michigan Hall is Smarter Living in Michigan, and again, that's sponsored by MEDC and DTE Energy, and it's Michigan-based companies that are pushing the green economy forward here in the state. So it's a great way to come down, and then also you get to go. We have a track down there that you can take Volts, all sorts of electric vehicles for a ride.
So people can come in here and actually drive the cars, not just look at them on the stand.
Well, the press can drive them, and during public days, they can go for a ride in those vehicles. So you get to experience. I mean, it's quiet. You get down in Michigan Hall, and it's perfectly quiet. So
that's right, because being electric, you don't have to worry about any exhaust fumes down there.
No, it's just like the Ford display. Ford added the Transit Connect electric and the Focus electric, so they've got a dynamometer on there, so you can check out how the vehicles feel.
So, any projections as to what kind of public attendance you might get this year?
Again, we're in January. We're in Michigan, so we've had good weather so far. So, if we continue that trend and don't have too many snow days, I think we're going to exceed last year by a good 10 to 15%. That's all indications.
That's great. Am I missing anything? What should we be talking about that I haven't asked you about?
Again, to keep up with the latest storylines, it's NAIS.com. We have our virtual show tour on, so you can come plan your route through Kobo Center. Parking information, ticket information. So again, it's a great resource for information on NAIS. And even if you don't come down, it keeps you well connected.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Baron Meat, thanks so much for coming in and bringing us up to speed with all the behind the scenes going on at this show.
It's my pleasure, John.
Terrific.
Take care.
Thanks. You bet.
Thanks.
And we're going to take a quick commercial break right now.
Cool. All right.
With the average American spending an increasing number of hours behind the wheel each year, it's no wonder that interior comfort is now the #2 factor in choosing a vehicle, according to the 2010 J.D. Power Initial Quality Study. At IAC, we recognize the importance of making the vehicle interior a safer, more comfortable, and convenient place for drivers and passengers. We draw upon our rich heritage in automotive interiors to create smart solutions that help make vehicles lighter, safer, quieter, more environmentally friendly, and dramatically more pleasing to the senses. IAC Vehicle Interiors. Our heritage is your advantage.
Introducing Bridgestone's 3rd generation run flat tires with groundbreaking new Bridgestone technology. Current run flat tires offer peace of mind for consumers, but the added mass and stiffer sidewalls can compromise ride comfort and fuel efficiency. The new 3rd generation Bridgestone run flat tires reduce heat and improve performance and ride comfort. Improved ride comfort, lower rolling resistance, and improved wear with the peace of mind and comfort you need.
2011 Hyundai Sonata has been named one of Car and Driver's 2011 10 Best Cars. Motor Trend declared, "What's not to love?" And Automobile magazine added it to their annual All-Stars list. But one of our favorite accolades is this: the 2011 Sonata. What else is there to say?
Welcome back live from the floor of the Detroit Auto Show for 2011, and joining me right now is Oliver Friedman, the head of product management for the Mini brand. Oliver, thanks so much for stopping by to chat all about Mini.
John, thank you for inviting me for that interview.
Now, Mini started out with one car, and you're doing an amazing job of expanding the product line. Talk a little bit about how you started, where you're going, and where you might go from here.
Yeah, it's now 10 years ago that we just started with our hatchback, you know, the really revival of the Mini brand when we launched it in 2001. And we brought a lot of interesting derivatives after that also to the marketplace. You remember the Clubman, which is, by the way, very interesting and very well accepted in your market especially.
Yeah.
And after that, of course, not forget the convertible. Now we are at the time that it was time for the fourth derivatives we just introduced now in your market. You know, it's 12th that we just officially launched in your marketplace, the Countryman. And this is very, of course, a very interesting story of us, because we are now the first time that we offer a Mini with 4 doors and with 4 meter, which means we are just reaching now a new segment for people who just love to see more space within a Mini, of course, because of their family duties or whatever. They just couldn't afford now, for example, a hatchback yet. So this is a very interesting time period, of course. As you know, we just launched it in September, October in the European markets, and it's very well accepted. So it's a very interesting time, of course, for us to be here, also to launch it now in your market.
Oliver, are you keeping Mini buyers by introducing these cars, or are you just bringing new people into the brand?
This is a really interesting question, of course. What we see now, and after a couple of months now being with the Countryman, we see that we just reach, of course, new customers who couldn't afford a Mini yet. They loved Mini, but this was always a rejection issue, for example, to see that they had not enough space they just looked for in the car. So what we see now, we're just attracting a lot of new customers, of course also steady customers, but also a lot of new, mainly new customers to the Countryman, and this is a good story, of course. Of course, we want to expand Mini, of course, sales-wise.
Of course, and now you have the Paceman concept. Talk a little bit about that concept and why you're presenting it as a concept.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's also very interesting that phase we have to face at the moment, because we are just launching now the new Countryman in your market, and we come again with a new concept still on that platform. The idea which comes along is we created room with a Countryman, 4 doors, 4 meter, I mentioned that, and not to forget, of course, the 4-wheel drive, which is also the first time that we have a Mini with a 4-wheel drive option. And now we come with a new concept, which offers us more an idea to bring more dynamic again into the shape of the car. It is also built for very extroverted people, young modern people, of course, mainly male, of course, we see also in that car, who love to drive this go-kart feeling also on a platform which is above 4 meter and offers also the 4-wheel drive. So what we are doing at the moment, we try to elaborate how it works in your market also, because of course US is one of our main market, and it's very interesting to offer it right here in Detroit, to come with that concept yet.
Yeah. What are some of the differences around the world in terms of what are the most popular Mini models? Is it pretty much the same from market to market, or does it vary?
It varies a little bit, I would say. Of course, the most popular is our classical, we always call it the core Mini. It's the hatchback Mini, the original one, and this is of course the most popular Mini we just have. You know, we grew with that car in the last 50 years. You know, we just had anniversary last year, so this is of course the most popular model. But of course, what we started is from a one model brand, now coming to a variety of models we can launch now under Mini, and we see now that people are changing a little bit. Just well accepted this, of course, 4-meter and 4-door concept. For example, I just mentioned it with the Countryman. It varies a little bit. We see, of course, a really huge potential in your market, especially with a 4-wheel drive issue, which is really a great demand in your market. You just see we just see a great opportunity here. And so this is, you can see also the Clubman is a very, very popular concept, especially in the US. It's always great to see. And so this is now the time for the next step.
And the Countryman in the US, it's meeting your expectations here, is it?
Yeah, well, we will see, of course. The first, what we just gained now regarding the first voices out of the media, because I just mentioned it, officially we just launched it on the 12th of January.
Oh, so too early to tell.
Yeah,
really.
It's very early.
But what are the dealers telling you?
There's great, there's a great interest, of course, to launch it now, because we have a lot of people who are just want to have a test drive now and to get an experience with that car, of course. So we are really at a good point, and we are really optimistic for this year. I think it will be a big success in your market.
Oliver, how many cars did Mini sell worldwide last year? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, I don't want to be too fast. Just wait a little bit until we have a press conference.
Oh, the press conference has not taken place yet. Okay, didn't want to jump the gun there.
I don't want to take it a little bit too early, because we will communicate that this afternoon. But I can tell you, it's the best result we ever get with Mini until now. It's an all-time high.
That's pretty impressive.
That's really cool.
As you look then at the product lineup, do you see other areas to grow, or do you think that you've pretty much got it?
We just communicated 2 other derivatives. You remember maybe we just shown that in Frankfurt. The last Automotive show in Frankfurt, the Coupe and our Roadster concept, which are announced for 2011, which means this year, the second half of the year, which is also very interesting, because this is a 2-seater concept based on that core Mini, you know. And in 2012 we will see the Roadster concept, which are really, really also important milestones for Mini now. So we expand now to 6 derivatives.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's the way to grow sales, too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Hey, we've got some questions coming in from the audience here. Bambudin wants to know, when will we see a Mini that gets more than 40 miles to the gallon? And I'm not sure what 40 is in liters per 100 kilometers.
I can afford it. It's a really miles per gallon champion. We all internally talk also always about that. We're just not far away. As you know, we are just really, with our new engine generation we just brought into the marketplace last year, we are just really efficient with our engine at the moment regarding our competitor field. So we just think we are just in a good shape. We just, of course, try to improve that in the future. But I can't tell you now when we just reach that border. By the way, I don't know how to translate it now in liters, so that's why
I should know that, but I don't.
That.
Not instantly. Jake asks, what's the status of the Mini Coupe and Roadster? Well, you just talked about that.
What I can tell you at that time is it is. And this is really good news. It's very, very near to that concept we have seen in Frankfurt. It's very near. Some interesting new details I can't talk about yet, of course, because we're waiting a little bit and we want to have the tension until we just show it in our next show. But I can tell you it's very, very near to that what we have seen in Frankfurt, which was really well accepted.
Good to hear. Here's another question. Is Mini prepared to compete with the new iMegacity from BMW?
I don't think that this is really a competition, because we are just, we are just really in a different segment, in a different regarding our clients. The brand in itself is different position, so I don't see a competition between these 2 concepts. So no.
There was, of course, the Mini E. Any plans for an electric Mini in volume production?
Which is, by the way, well accepted. You know that we just have brought 600 of them in the market to test and to get an experience regarding that drivetrain, which is really, really a good basis also to learn a lot about more to how to proceed with that in the future.
And hybrids, is that something that might be in the future for Mini?
I can't tell you more details about a hybrid at the moment, but I think what we are just shown with our e-Mini, that we are just now far away, we're just in the next step regarding the e-concept. So a hybrid concept, it is not an issue which is on our schedule at the moment for the nearer future.
Okay. And all this infotainment or in-car entertainment, electronics, where might Mini go with all that?
That's a good question. Remember, we just brought, and we bring it now with the Countryman also, and with our traditional models, the Mini connected issue. Maybe you have heard about that.
Yes,
this is a really, really interesting issue, because we have been the first OEMs who brought a total CE device on the basis of a smartphone, in that case the iPhone, completely in the surrounding of the car, which means it allows you to have, for example, the web radio issue, you're connected to your communities and all that stuff. This is really, really well accepted, still in Europe. We bring it now to your market, and it's really a great gadget. It's fantastic.
And you see this catching on in all markets in the world, or?
Yeah. In the main markets where we just have the services available. You mean for example, the Google search and all that stuff, which should be also provided in that market. And where it's provided, we are just in place with our Mini connected issue.
What else? What am I missing here? What else is Mini up to that we should be talking about?
You mean in general, Mini?
In general, yeah.
I would say that what I just mentioned is that we just have to face a very interesting phase at the moment. We have a lot of products in pipeline. You see a concept here. Just wait until afternoon. There will be also an interesting information which allows you to have more about this, to hear more about that concept. I can't talk about that yet because the interview is too early. We have these two really new concepts, the Coupe and the Roadster. And I would say when we just launch that in the next years, we are really, really in a really interesting phase for Mini in general.
Well, since we have to wait until the press conference, we're doing a live webcast tomorrow, same time. We'll make sure we take the camera over there and show everybody what you're talking about here.
Okay.
But Oliver Friedman, thanks so much for stopping by and bringing us up to speed here with everything that Mini's doing. Very interesting. It's extraordinary to watch how the brand has grown in only 10 years' time.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to do that here.
Fantastic. Thanks, Oliver. Really appreciate it. Oh, and watch your microphone there. We're back live from the floor of the Detroit Auto Show. We're waiting for one more interview. We've got Bob Carter, the Group Vice President and General Manager of Toyota Motor Sales USA. He'll be here in a moment, but let's get to some of the chat questions that we haven't had a chance to get to yet. Greg asks, I want my next car purchase to be the best for the USA. With that said, which car purchase would provide the greater net benefit to America and Americans? A Volkswagen built in Tennessee or a Ford built in Mexico? And Greg, I would say, you know, you shouldn't just look at where a car is assembled. That's important, but what's more important is where was all the styling and design done? Where was the engineering done? Where was the product development done? Where was the manufacturing engineering done? Where is the tooling coming from? And my guess is that a Ford Fusion built in Mexico, but designed, engineered, developed, manufactured, engineered here in the United States generates more of a ripple effect through the economy than a Volkswagen that was designed in Germany but is assembled in the United States. But very good question, and one that I get asked a lot about. Oscar says, something about the Chevrolet Spark in the US. Well, yeah, we're getting the Spark, but in this case, that's the Spark is the Sonic, right, Craig? The Spark is the Chevrolet Spark is the Chevrolet Sonic? Okay, we believe so. We believe that the Spark is the Sonic, so we are getting the Spark in the US. Lamberto wants to know, any news on US Alfa Romeo? No, we don't, not yet, or at least I don't. Legislative Geek wants to know, anything new on Hyundai's new 5-liter motor? I think they're gonna do it. I mean, I don't have any specific hardcore information, but anytime you ask the people at Hyundai about their 5-liter engine, they just say, boy, that would be a good idea, wouldn't it? So that tells me they are working on it. Ducky Bite says, any news on Tesla? No, Tesla's not at the show this year. So, or are they? They are at the show, okay. So we're gonna have to get some more info on that. Let's see. Is Acura there? Yeah, Nate wants to know, is Acura there? Yes, they are here. Are there any new products? You know, I don't know yet because, again, some of these press conferences have not yet taken place, or if they have, maybe I was sitting here and I'm not totally up to date on what the latest on that is. JB Huron wants to know, do you think there really is a market for the C-Max, the Ford C-Max, this new sort of crossover-like minivan that they've got coming? Or he asks, are they just looking to spread the cost of development of the platform? Well, yeah, you bet they want to spread the cost of the platform. But I do think that Ford's onto something here potentially. Because if you look at today's minivans, they're no longer mini. Whether you're talking the Honda Odyssey, the Toyota Sienna, the Chrysler Town & Country, they're pretty big. So if you look at the Ford C-Max, which is called the Grand C-Max in Europe, it's really the size, more or less, of the original Chrysler minivan, the T115 as it was known. And I think it's smart for somebody to get back into that small minivan size market. And in fact, the Ford C-Max, as it'll be sold in the US, is roughly the same size as the Mazda 5. Now, Mazda 5 hasn't exactly set the world on fire, but if there's one thing that Ford knows how to do, it's sell cars in the US market. So I bet the C-Max doesn't do half bad for them here. I think they could open up that minivan segment, the minivan segment, and if gas prices go any much higher, I think Ford's really going to have a pretty good sales success on its hands. And I think we're caught up. Let me just refresh the screen here, see if there's anything else there. And it doesn't look like there are, so we're just going to take another short break here and wait for our last interview to show up.
Why don't we thank our partners and chatbots again?
Okay. We up? Yep. Ben just reminded me we ought to take this opportunity to re-thank the other websites that are streaming this show, as well as thank the people in our chat room. And of course, we really want to thank Autoblog for taking today's show, cardesignfetish.com, drivenmavens.com, and the one from the Netherlands, it's translated to new car buying, but it looks like newautokopen.nl. We love having you guys on board with us. I think it's terrific. Also, rumblestrip.net, wardsauto.com, and webridestv.com. And of course, we really want to thank the folks who are helping us in the chat room today, Miradart, Christian Connor, Connerer, excuse me, Christian, and Sean Lowe. Great having you guys help us out with this. We truly do appreciate it.
Just take a break.
Okay, and now we're going to take a quick break, and we're waiting for Bob Carter to make his way through all the people that have been interviewing him to make his way up here on the stand with us.
Just send the search party.
With the average American spending an increasing number of hours behind the wheel each year, it's no wonder that interior comfort is now the #2 factor in choosing a vehicle, according to the 2010 J.D. Power Initial Quality Study. At IAC, we recognize the importance of making the vehicle interior a safer, more comfortable, and convenient place for drivers and passengers. We draw upon our rich heritage in automotive interiors to create smart solutions that help make vehicles lighter, safer, quieter, more environmentally friendly, and dramatically more pleasing to the senses. IAC Vehicle Interiors. Our heritage is your advantage.
Introducing Bridgestone's 3rd generation run-flat tires with groundbreaking new Bridgestone technology. Current run-flat tires offer peace of mind for consumers, but the added mass and stiffer sidewalls can compromise ride comfort and fuel efficiency. The new 3rd generation Bridgestone run-flat tires reduce heat and improve performance and ride comfort. Improved ride comfort, lower rolling resistance, and improved wear with the peace of mind and comfort you need.
The 2011 Hyundai Sonata has been named one of Car and Driver's 2011 10 Best Cars. Motor Trend declared, "What's not to love?" And Automobile magazine added it to their annual All-Stars list. But one of our favorite accolades is this: the 2011 Sonata. What else is there to say?
That's it. This will go.
Oh.